at 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 users a day. It's 1 million a day. It's people saying, oh, this is the new standard. I'm taking it down. I'm going to download this app. I'm going to start using it. That's the potential of this. So you want to be invested in some of those projects because they're going to be that disruptive. And it's all about the thing when, people always say, oh, there's a great societal reason for it and it's burning less carbon and all that stuff. That's all great. But at the end of the day, what motivates people? Money. That's what they understand, and saving it. Everybody in every language, everywhere on earth cares about saving money. That's it. Right now, if you want to transfer, $350 to somebody, you bought something at a garage sale and they want $350 from you, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. Have you ever looked at the fees on those things? And so I'm not criticizing the services, they work, but the minute you give an alternative, such as a stable coin, which you can go under the chain and just transfer to somebody for a fraction of that fee, well, people go to the path of least resistance. They always do. And so, providing stability for payment systems on the chain and regulation for it is going to be very, very disruptive because it's going to be so inexpensive. And it works internationally. So there's none of this, oh, I can't do it in Switzerland, or I can't pay for my meal in London or Paris. All that goes away. It just evaporates because the vendor at your Guide Michelin restaurant in Paris that you're having dinner at is saying, oh, you got a stable coin? Here's my wallet. Boom. Pay your bill.
One of the biggest questions everyone has in the crypto space right now is, how do I profit in those moments of uncertainty? Where should I invest my money other than Bitcoin? And what is the new unicorn coming into crypto? But people also ask why we are going through these challenging times and when they end. Hello and welcome to the Daily Crypto. Today's video will have all the answers to those questions given by Kevin O'Leary, who you probably know from Shark Tank. Kevin is one of the biggest believers in crypto, stable coins, and the blockchain technology, and is doing a crazy job trying to get everyone to understand them. Today, Kevin O'Leary will not only give you the most recent crypto news, but also tell you the #1 reason Bitcoin and all crypto have been crashing and when this will change. He will also give you one massive advice on where you should be putting your money, so pay close attention until the end.
There was so much anticipation back in Miami just over a year ago about regulation coming and an opening up of global markets, pension plans, sovereign wealth funds coming into crypto, and obviously none of that has occurred. And that is actually why we're in a rut that we are right now. It also remains a huge opportunity. There is 2 points of light that I think people should think about that look interesting right now. There were a lot of bills coming forward, bipartisan bills in the House and the Senate about trying to regulate crypto. Now it's consolidated down to 2 initiatives. They're both bipartisan. One is very important. Since we last talked, there was a collapse in stablecoins. About 100 billion evaporated. The most, because it was decentralized, it wasn't much, it wasn't all in the United States. So the regulator, while being unhappy, it's not a domestic problem. It was based on bankrupt ideas, the idea that an algorithm could somehow stabilize a coin against the US dollar. That's proven to be false. We've had lots of pundits, Jamie Dimon recently calling it decentralized Ponzi schemes. He was speaking specifically to stablecoins, I believe, in that statement.
If this is the #1 reason why the markets are crashing for the past few months, let's see what he thinks that will change everything.
And the reason it's interesting is it only does one thing. It only deals with stablecoins that are regulated and backed by the US dollar, nothing else. It's not trying to solve for NFTs, doesn't care about Bitcoin. It's basically going through legislation on a bipartisan basis as a payment system. And the reason you should be optimistic for this is, why both sides of the aisle support this is it basically overnight, should it get regulated, creates the very first global payment system backed by the US dollar, making the US dollar the default payment system globally. and it will be adopted by every country except North Korea, Russia, and China. And overnight, it will make America even a stronger nation in terms of settling for financial services. Everybody in here should be optimistic about that, because that signals the onslaught of more regulation that will deal with other digital commodities like Bitcoin and everything else.
Are you enjoying the video so far? Please remember to leave a like and subscribe, as the advice is coming in a few minutes with the 3 things that will grow mass adoption in crypto and explode prices. But what are the big promises of Web3? And how important are they for this to happen?
One of the great promises of Web3, and why we're all here today, is that Web3 should signal the mass adoption of blockchain technology. And all of the dollars that are going into Web3 development are trying to do that, solving for the security of wallets, the ease of use of wallets, transparency of the chain, making it adaptable and easy to use. And the killer app, I would agree with you, would be a downloadable app that would let me store my USDC or whichever stablecoin I choose to use as a payment system, and allow me to use that anywhere in the world, in the countries that have adopted it, with a fraction of the friction fees. Imagine a credit card is 350 basis points. ACH transfer fees, SWIFT system transfer fees, all those fees. Now, you wonder why Jamie Dimon is trying to talk this down. I mean, this is threatening his book in a big way. And so just payment systems alone are going to really cause some headaches in banks, because they love to transfer assets between themselves and charge you friction. Their gas fees are crazy high. And so this is the disruption and the potential. And I'd argue, to this Voyager story and all of these guys that have gone bankrupt, let me all offer an alternative view. It's a good thing that happened. And it scrapes the patina off the market. It eliminates the idiot management. They'll never get financed again. The ideas that were bankrupt in the first place will never come back. The market remembers losses of 60 billion. You're cleaning the palette. And what's left with is opportunity of stable opportunities like Circle and others that are doing it the right way, and FTX and all these other companies that are raising capital the compliant way. So I'm optimistic that over the next 24 months, should we get some regulation, the spigot of institutional money will come pouring into this space. I believe that this sector will be the 12th sector of the S&P in 10 years. So what's going to happen is financial services is a really big sector of the S&P. Some portion of that value is going to get transferred over to blockchain, the 12th sector, which doesn't exist yet. So you have to decide as an investor, there's 2 risks in investing in crypto. One risk is you invest in crypto. It's volatile and it goes to zero. Could happen. The other risk is you don't invest in crypto, and all that asset value transfers over the next 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years into blockchain, which is now providing some portion of financial services. You got risks both ways. I've chosen to invest in crypto and blockchain and many, many projects, including I'm a large shareholder of what Ben is doing here, because I can invest in that company and it's regulated. I got no rogue anything. There's no Kim Kardashian SEC charge there. That's not going to happen. This is a regulated business in a market that's very advanced. The Canadian OSC, which is equivalent to the SEC, gave this guy an order that he is now allowed to have 1 million Canadians trading on a broker-dealer crypto platform, and starting beginning of the next year, fractional shares of equities. So in one account, you can have everything you want. You can have equities, fractional shares, real-time quotes, crypto, 40 different tokens and coins, right? Yeah. All regulated by the regulator.
These are the 3 things that will drive mass adoption, according to Mr. Wonderful and his advice, that will probably create a lot of millionaires in the next 24 months.
If you think about mass adoption, there's 3 things that have to happen in, let's say, the next 24 months. The wallet has to work. And basically, the wallets, whether you're decentralized or centralized, for lack of a better word, are shit. Like they're just shit. And they're not safe, they're hard to use, the average person doesn't know what they're doing. The passphrase technology, everybody gets screwed the first time. You always start with $250 and lose it immediately, you get it ripped off. It's always good to learn that, but that just isn't going to work. So we're going to have to, Web3 is about solving that problem. Number 2, we need security. You got to have much better security as you amass assets, even if it's just stable coins. But if you're starting to build a portfolio in today's world and you're putting some portion of your savings to work, I don't care whether you use Schwab or Fidelity or Interactive Brokers, you're not worried about security. They've solved that problem. They've built that trust. They've done it over decades, and you're happy to hold your assets. We got to solve that in Web3. You got to feel that there is security to where your assets are being held. And lastly, and just as important the other two, we need regulation. All these people that were founders of this fantastic nascent industry that think it can't be regulated, never should be regulated, I thank them for where they got us to today, but now I want them to get off the bus and let the rest of us take this forward, because there's no way we're going to get that $1 trillion of assets in here without regulation. And that's the part that makes it mass adoption. When your grandmother wants to own some USDC, then you know you've made it. Right now, if you want to transfer, $350 to somebody, you bought something at a garage sale and they want $350 from you, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. Have you ever looked at the fees on those things? And so I'm not criticizing the services, they work, but the minute you give an alternative, such as a stable coin, which you can go under the chain and just transfer to somebody for a fraction of that fee, well, I mean, people go to the path of least resistance. They always do. And so, providing stability for payment systems on the chain and regulation for it is going to be very, very disruptive, because it's going to be so inexpensive and it works internationally. So there's none of this, oh, I can't do it in Switzerland, or I can't pay for my meal in London or Paris. All that goes away. It just evaporates, because the vendor at your Guide Michelin restaurant in Paris that you're having dinner at is saying, oh, you got a stable coin? Here's my wallet. Boom, pay your bill. And all of a sudden, that 3.5% that you were paying to whichever credit card you had, that is peeling off 150 basis points for themselves. I mean, I invest in all of these platforms because they make so much money. I mean, it's fantastic. But I'm also going to invest in Circle and other, because I know those guys are going to disrupt the credit card companies. So I've made a ton of credit cards, but now, I mean, this is going to get crazy, because there's going to be a hell of a competition. It's going to be really interesting, because the minute I can use a stable coin on my phone, why am I going to use anything else? It's cheaper. I save money. And mass adoption starts to occur not at 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 users a day. It's 1 million a day. It's people saying, oh, this is the new standard. I'm taking it down. I'm going to download this app. I'm going to start using it. That's the potential of this. So you want to be invested in some of those projects, because they're going to be that disruptive. And it's all about the thing when, people always say, oh, there's a great societal reason for it, and it's burning less carbon and all that stuff. That's all great. But at the end of the day, what motivates people? Money. That's what they understand, and saving it. Everybody in every language, everywhere on earth cares about saving money. That's it.
As we're closing in, do you agree with Kevin O'Leary's opinion on mass adoption? Do we need regulation, easier to use wallets, and stable coins? Let us know in the comments below. And also, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our daily uploads filled with value. Thanks.